Hi guys, my name is Nicole and welcome to my channel. Today I would like to share with you guys our curriculum picks for 2018-2019. So for Bible study, we will be continuing with our Truth and Grace memory book that we also used last year. Some days we will read aloud from this 365 bedtime stories book that we will choose to read from during the day. And then on other days, we will do a Bible verse and coloring page from this coloring book that I found at our local Christian bookstore. We're going to be keeping geography simple again this year and going back with a DK workbook. She enjoyed it for first grade, so we're going the same route for second grade. Last year for science, we did God's design. This year, however, I think I want to get a bit hands-on and save the heavy reading for some of our other subjects. So we will be getting back to these when she gets into the third grade. So this year for science, we will be doing DK workbooks as well. And I will be focusing on trying to attempt some of the fun projects that I see in these workbooks. This would be one of those subjects that I will be trying as a group this year. So this is what we'll be doing for science. Now, we got through the geography workbook pretty quickly last year. So I think that doing first and second grade shouldn't be too much. The girls have been doing this skeleton activity, so we will also continue with that for science. Social studies, we are keeping simple again. We are continuing with our study of the 50 states, and we are using our 50 states and flashcards again. To help add some interest to social studies, some of the things we would do, we would either look up clips on YouTube about that particular state, if there's any. We would also use our atlas, and the kids would look at, like some of the things that you would find in each state, if it's a state that interests them. And then other times we would look up on the computer like facts about that state, such as the bird and the flower, and the kids usually enjoy that. The only other thing that we are adding is this Melissa and Doug puzzle that we found at a local thrift store, so that is going to come in pretty handy for social studies. For history, we are going to be going with Story of the World again. So my main goal for history right now is just to give them a general exposure to history. And then of course, we will teach African American studies and Caribbean studies in our home. So I really like how history is presented in the Story of the World. The kids seem engaged and I really enjoyed teaching from it at this time. So what we got was the main text, which is just simple black and white. I also got a PDF version this time with the packet that I bought, so that's going to come in pretty handy. If you're out of the house, you can still read the text on your phone or your tablet. Then I got the test and answer key, and this is actually one of my favorite books in this curriculum. What we did sometimes is that I would have checked her answers from the previous lesson using the answer key at the back of the book, and instead of doing a new chapter, we would review like 2 chapters from before for that class, if that makes sense. So I really like the test and answer key. Then I got the activity book, which has the student pages to the back, and you have to get the book separated and rebound. And again, with this packet, I got an extra copy of the student pages. So I don't have to make as many copies as I did last year. The last thing I got was the CDs. Now, at the beginning of the school term last year, I actually did not use this a whole lot. However, coming down to the end of the school term, when you're really trying to fight through to get through the rest of the year, this came in really, really handy. And what I would do, I would play this on the computer or the TV. I would have the chapter open and I would be reading along, and I would pause it if necessary to ask questions, and that made it so much easier to get through some of the work at the end of the term. So these came in really, really handy later on in the school year. So for African American history, we are going to be attempting some of the crafts from this African American history book. And we are going to do just a little bit of reading surrounding the exact crafts that we chose from here. This 100 African Americans who shaped American history is going to form the basis of our main text again this year. We picked out some new people that we would like to focus on this year. So we're going to be continuing with that. I also got us 3 readers for Read Aloud, all by Christopher Paul Curtis. He had so many good selections. I think I went a little wild. They're all black and white. So we got those, so we'll be enjoying those. And then I got this Hidden Figures, the true story of 4 black women and the space race. And then also this Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History by Vashti Harrison. And I think the girls would really enjoy those. So that is what African American Studies is going to look like. For writing, we are sticking with Writing with Ease. And similarly to the history, which is by the same company, you have the student pages at the back, and then you have the main text to the front. Now, I really like how this program is structured. Everything that you will need to say as the instructor is scripted for you, and it even gives a possible response that your child or your student may give. In the event that they need that extra help, you can choose to read those responses back for them. And I have found that that has helped with my daughter's responses over the course of the last school term. Now, I also like the reading selections. I find them to be challenging enough for her, but at the same time, she seemed to enjoy the stories. So we will be sticking with Writing with Ease. We are going to start cursive handwriting, and this is one of those things that I wish that I had started earlier. However, they are both going to start just using this board that I had on my shelf, and later on in the year, we are going to continue with Learning Without Tears Kickstart Cursive, and then follow their cursive handwriting program from there. So for grammar, we are doing the first language lessons, and I really like, similarly to the writing program, how all of your responses are narrated for you, and it also gives you examples of what your student responses may sound like, so that if it is they needed the help, you can always read back the responses for them. And I've found that over the year that has really helped. Now, I really like how this book focuses on one grammar concept at a time, and it really takes time with it, giving your student enough time to digest that new concept. Also, my daughter really enjoyed the poems that the level 1, had. So I'm really looking forward to the new poems that are going to be introduced this year. Now, the only thing is that it does not have writing pages, so you will have to couple it with a simple notebook for your students' writing. So we are going to be doing all about reading this year, and I'm going to be attempting to teach 2 of my daughters reading together, because I'm trying not to have to teach one level 2 and one level 3 at the same time. So I'm starting off with my daughter who is at level 2, which will serve as kind of a review for my older daughter, since this is the first time we are doing this program. We got the review box. Then I got a basic interactive kit. Now, if it is you're doing all about reading and all about spelling, according to the company, 1 interactive kit is sufficient for both programs. However, because I will be attempting to teach 2 of them reading, but only 1 spelling based on their different learning capabilities at this time, I just thought that having 2 might just be easier for me. And these are all the basic tiles that you will be using throughout the program. And then you have the divider card, Then I got the 2 readers, Queen Bee and What Am I? for level 2, and they're black and white pictures. The teacher's manual. It looks really similar to the All About Spelling. And then the student packet. All of this was wrapped in plastic. You have the activity book, which has the progress chart to the front of the activity book as opposed to on a separate card as the All About Spelling has it. Then you get your additional tiles for this level and just add magnets. Their progress stickers, and then all of the different cards that they would use throughout level 2. Their phonogram cards and their word cards. Last year we did All About Spelling level 1 and really enjoyed it. I have seen such a great improvement in my daughter's spelling, even with a lot of words that we have not even seen in this program. So this is the teacher's manual. Oopsie. And then you have the student packet, and this all came wrapped in plastic. You have the additional tiles for this level, and you just stick magnets behind if you so wish. Then you have the progress chart stickers and the different cards that comes with level 2. Yellow cards are their phonogram cards, then their sound cards, their key cards, and then lastly their word cards. So for math, we will be continuing with math, you see. First, I got the DVD, which we would all sit down and watch. Depending on the lesson, we may watch it twice, and you get through them pretty easily. Each lesson is between 4 to 7 minutes. Then we will move on and attempt the workbook. Each lesson has 5 pages, A through G, A to C being the main lesson, D to F being systematic review, and then page G being an application and enrichment page. Then I also got the test book, which you get a lesson test after every lesson and then a unit test at the end of a series of lessons. Now, at the beginning of the term, I did follow suit and did a lesson after every, after every lesson and then the first unit test. However, after that, I stopped using the test book, focused on finishing the main curriculum, and then at the end, we came back and we completed the test book sort of as a review of everything that we did. And I think that is what I'm going to do this year. Then I got the instruction manual. Now, last year, I honestly did not use the Alpha instruction manual a lot, and I was tempted to not. Actually, I probably used it once or twice. And I was tempted to not get it this year, but I guess I just didn't want to be in a situation where I needed it and I did not have it, so I just broke down and purchased the manual as well. And then after we completed the Alpha, we had started doing a couple pages from these Kumon books, the addition and subtraction. I would just take out a page and copy it and just have her do it for review, and I think we're just going to continue with that this year. And lastly, we will be adding in the Brain Quest and the What Your Kid Needs to Know series book. Now, last year we used these 2 books when we were moving and they worked out so well. And when we had times where we were unable to do schooling, whether it be because we had like a home emergency or I couldn't school for whatever reason and we also couldn't do computer learning, we turned to these and they worked out so well. So we are going to be continuing with the brain quest, and this what your kid needs to know. Now, the way how I get through the what your second grader needs to know, and lastly what your first grader needs to know, is that I would use them as read aloud at night, and we were able to get through all of the preschooler, kindergartner, the first grader. We're still working through a bit of it, and then we are going to continue with the second grader. So I personally like the series, and that's why I would be adding these in. So this is going to be sort of like my fail-safe curriculum. That is what our main curriculum is going to look like. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you in my next video.